Hey everyone, just letting you know, the Marvelite is made possible by you guys, and if you want to help us succeed and listen to the full, unedited show, head on over to our SoundCloud page, man. Along with our regular weekly podcast, we've got some exclusive content heading your way only on SoundCloud. So support the show, take us on the go, and follow us at soundcloud.com/HyperNetworkYT. Up next, a pretty sweet clip from our latest episode. Check it out.
What's up, guys? CJ here, and I'm sorry, I forgot this was the AM. I've got to switch to my NPR voice. Welcome to the Marvelite podcast. This is episode 37, guys. I remembered which episode it was.
That's fantastic. I'm really glad that you didn't get that wrong.
Thank you.
Good tidings, Brother Siege.
It's only it's the responsible thing to do, really. To know the episode of the podcast I'm hosting. If you couldn't tell, Luke is running on fumes. Michael has coffee. I have coffee. Will is wearing a Spider-Man suit and a Skype avatar. We're ready to go because this is the Marvelite. But how are you guys doing? How are you guys feeling today? Other than what I just... Luke, how are you doing? What is your mental state?
I'm good. Like, it's one of those things. I'm useless before noon, no matter what.
I feel that.
But I'm especially useless before noon if I've barely had any sleep. So yeah.
Yeah, this is
I'm chugging along.
I think this is the first time we've actually recorded a podcast in the morning.
I think it is, yeah.
In the history. Well, in the morning, technically, like, as in I went to sleep and woke up, like, in the morning.
Do you want to let these people know why we're recording so early in the morning?
Do you really want to?
Because the mornings is when you get the best ideas for your podcast. Yeah, that's why.
Technical issues. We'll just leave it at that. Yeah. So this is the 37th episode of the Marvelite. Thank you for sticking around. Thank you for listening or watching to this. We actually have a ton of news to discuss today, so I'm going to cut the intro a little bit short. Pardon me for the brevity, but last night it was an absolute shit show, and we were dragging on. Luckily, we're going to treat that as the dress rehearsal for this one because hopefully we're going to get this whipping a little better for you here. In our top story today, Spider-Man Homecoming just started filming this past Monday, literally like 4 days ago, I guess. Guardians 2 moved off the lot. There's a great picture that James Gunn posted to Facebook with him, Tom Holland, and Chris Pratt.
My dad.
Michael's dad, announcing that the film Spider-Man Homecoming was beginning filming, and later that day, or the next day, something like that, we managed to get our first look at set photos from the movie, and guys... it looks quirky. So we've got to break this segment down into three separate segments. So we actually only see three characters in these photos. We see Tom Holland, we see Zendaya, and we see Tony Revolori as Flash Thompson. So we're going to start with the main man, the headliner here, Spider-Man himself, Peter Parker, Tom Holland. And so we see him in a couple of different outfits. In what looks to be two different scenes. One, he's wearing what looks to be a polyester wool blend sweater. Looking very dorky, very Tobey Maguire. In these set photos, wearing kind of the sweater and the collared shirt, looking, very, very nerdy, and walking around. And then the other one, we see him wearing a Midtown High sweatshirt. But I think this is a move in the right direction, guys. What do you guys think about his look? We're going to start with Will.
I think it's dipped butter fresh, and he looks good. He looks like someone posted not comparison, but their favorite Spider-Mans between like live action and game and stuff, or comics, and he does look just like Ultimate Pete without that shitty haircut. Yeah, and he does look like old school Maguire, and he looks like spectacular. Like he looks like a modern age dork.
Who said it last time we recorded that he finally looks like he doesn't look like a hipster? Was that you, Luke?
No, I didn't say that, but I did see it on
Will.
Twitter.
It was probably definitely Will. But so, Luke, though, what do you think about his look here?
No, I think it's great. I definitely agree that he doesn't look like a hipster anymore. I think that he looks exactly how he should look, like a dweeb, only right and not the weird 34-year-old Tobey Maguire kind of quirky. I'm hyped for this movie. He looks. It's like I've said this from the beginning. Really, they're taking cues from both the 616 and the Ultimates. I think they're going to do more Ultimate Peter while keeping a 616 Spider-Man.
Yeah,
I like that.
So, Michael, what do you think? What do you think of this?
I honestly co-sign all of the looks that he's had thus far. Even his look in Civil War, I think they're going for a more accurate representation of, Peter Parker, what he would look like being a 15, 16-year-old kid in Queens. We're not getting, like you guys mentioned, like a hipster-looking, skateboard riding Peter Parker, and I think that's right because it's more accurate to who he is.
True. Yeah,
and how he would be
the typical,
represented with his clothes.
Yeah. And
he's so misunderstood.
He's just, oh my god.
He just needs a
Panic
choker.
at the Disco, concerning our conversation just before we started recording. But
right.
I'm honestly kind of glad that they went for a dorkier route, because in Civil War, he just looked kind of like a regular teenager, and I was like, nothing about him screams dork for me. The only thing that did was like the only thing that really screamed like dork to me was like once he, was like, I fix computers. I was like, well, okay, like that's not normal. But other than that, like he looks like just about every other kid that I.
What was his shirt again in Civil War? Wasn't that like geeky? I don't know. I don't remember.
It might have been, but I think Big Bang Theory has kind of mainstreamed a lot of geeky concepts for.
Very true. Very true.
That's a conversation for another.
That's a whole other podcast.
So the other big person we got to first look at here that was most interesting to me was Zendaya Coleman, who of course has been cast in an unspecified love interest role, or not a love interest. They were saying,
but don't say. You never know.
Yeah, you never know. But she definitely looks a little quirky, wearing this white blouse that's kind of buttoned at the top, longer skirt, and some boots. Definitely a look that I've seen, around my college campus. But my biggest question for you guys is, who do you think she's playing based off of this look? Will, what do you think?
I'd still say that she's.
What's she doing?
She Michelle. My girl
Michelle.
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 Oh shit, Michelle.
And my girl Michelle Gonzalez.
Michael, who you thinking?
I'm thinking Liz Allen, actually.
Liz Allen, that's who I'm thinking. Luke, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, well, it's interesting that you guys think that that name specifically is going to be a ruse, and it will be Liz Allen. I could see her being Liz Allen. I personally I'm going to agree with Will. I really do think it's Michelle Gonzalez.
We got a 2-2 here.
We skipped over the fact, like, last episode I said Michelle Rodriguez, and we continued for about 30 seconds, and then I realized it and was like, wait, that's not right.
No.
Shit. But hold on, can we go back to, you used the word ruse.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus, I've got to make the Archer reference.
Okay, go.
Hello, it's the 1940s. They want their word in shitty clothes and plain back. But no,
it's so true. Oh my god.
So the last person we got to look at though was Tony Revolori.
Ravioli, give me the ravioli.
Tony Revolori, the lobby boy himself, walking around in a beautiful purple and gray Lacoste polo. And honestly, guys,
Ralph,
this just screams Flash Thompson to me. Like I'll explain why, but I want to get your guys' thoughts first. Let's go in the reverse order. Luke, who do you think Revolori is playing, or is it just classmate number 5?
Harry.
You Perry?
Ooh. No, Harry.
Oh, I was like Perry.
Harry.
Perry Bosborn.
I personally think it's Harry. Who knows? I don't think that. Hopefully, Harry's not going to be some older figure in the film. I want him to be the same age that Peter is supposed to be. So 15, writing 16, possibly. I don't know. Peter might be 16 by the time the movie starts. I don't know yet. So
I would imagine him to be, actually.
Really?
Yeah, because in Civil War was in May.
Yeah,
and it's a whole entire year, right?
Yeah,
true.
And he's 15, so he's probably grade 11, maybe early mid grade 11.
No, dude, freshman.
BB 5'4" manlet.
Freshman writing sophomore is what I'm saying. Did you just say 5'4" manlet?
Yes.
I'd say sophomore writing junior.
I actually am going to go sophomore writing junior. So you've got people that are younger than him in high school. Because to me, he doesn't look like. I mean, Tom Holland is a young looking dude, but he's not. He doesn't look like a freshman to be. Someone like Abraham Atta, or and we'll talk about him in a little bit. But someone like that kind of is like what a freshman looks like.
Yeah.
So
wait, if it's
do you think it's Flash? Or
do I think it's Flash?
Harry.
Ooh, I don't think he's Harry. I could see him being Flash. Like, we kind of talked about this. Basically, Flash being like a really big, brooding, kind of like douchebaggy, classical bully. But that's not relatable nowadays, right?
No. No.
Nope, that's not bullies now.
That's kind of
Exactly.
what we talked about. Yeah,
That.
it's always
Bullies
the,
nowadays are kind of just like the little guy who's a big mouth, right?
Yep, mouth
Trigger fingers turn
And
to
his
Twitter
and
fingers.
yeah, Twitter fingers too, right? So I'm thinking they might go something along that line to make it more relatable to kids these days.
Yeah, I was thinking that there's a lot of unintentional comedy to be had.
Exactly.
Not even unintentional, like intentional comedy to be had. Where Tom Holland, who I think is maybe taller than Revelori, but might not be. Like if you get some great scenes of like Revelori just being a little dude, like trying to bully Tom Holland, and it's like you get some great shots of like Tom Holland clearly being bigger.
Definitely.
So Will, who are you thinking that he might be playing?
I think he might actually be Harry, and the reason for that is because of the new Spidey comic, where if you look at him, Harry's kind of more brown skinned than he has been in the past. And
Swarthy.
so is Norman.
Swarthy.
He doesn't have his OG cornrows
No,
with red
which
hair and pale
are
skin.
still the funniest hairstyle that's ever been. And I don't know what they were trying to do.
Yeah, the white dude with cornrows. I mean, Pete had cornrows when he went to Wakanda, but
I
Well,
guess
you
it's
guys
that,
didn't
like,
hear
that-
Dane DeHaan's coming back as Harry. What?
They did. No.
oh god, Dane DeHaan beating up poor tiny skinny Tom Holland.
At the Goblin AIDS clinic. So that actually wraps it up for this episode of Marvelite. If you've listened to this entire thing, drop a line in the comment section down below. Waru, I'm just penciling you in already, buddy. But thank you for listening or watching if you started the screen the entire time. I had to throw that in there for Nick. But because he told me to stop saying that after last episode. He was like, nobody is watching this. Stop saying it. I was like, you don't know that. But
I sometimes watch podcasts.
thank you for watching / listening. This has been the Marvelite Podcast. Don't forget to leave your questions in the comment section below. I loved all our viewer questions this week. #AskMarvelite on YouTube and SoundCloud so we can find them easier. We'll definitely make a concerted effort to answer them. Like this week, we answered all of our viewer questions. So there's a very good chance that if you leave a question, we will answer it and we will talk about it and we'll shout you out even. We'll shout you out. We'll bring you up. But that actually wraps it up for this episode of the Marvelite Podcast. Thank you for watching / listening. For Luke, Michael, and Will, I'm CJ, your host, and we'll see you next week.
Later, taters.